Hi, this is Phil Spencer, and you're listening to the Inner Circle Podcast, for the fans, by the fans.
Thank you for landing on Planet Xbox. You are now rocking with the Inner Circle, the official podcast of XboxMad.net. And this is your podcast for fans, by fans, so salute to you, the mighty, mighty X units. I'm your moderator, KOR Straight Murder, and today's guest is Jez from XboxMad.net. We'll be chatting about EGX, Windows 10 integration, and a game that was pretty much confirmed during the Phil Spencer interview. So, guys, I want to welcome Jez over from Xbox Mad. As you know, Xbox Mad and TiC Podcast are partners, and we are the official podcast of Xbox Mad. And recently, they were able to go to a UK event called EGX, which is a games convention, similar to Gamescom, but I guess you could say not with all the cameras and the lights like things like E3 or Gamescom is. However, nonetheless, it's a very important event. It's something that we want to focus on. So I'm going to ask Jez right off the rip, what is EGX, and what was impressive at EGX when you went to the show?
Well, like you said, EGX is basically England's own little convention. I'm not sure how many years it's been running for now, but it's been quite a while. Hooksan said before that it used to be more technology orientated, but over time it became more and more game orientated. I think because like the UK games industry has grown and grown and grown, like with games like Arkham Asylum and Grand Theft Auto, obviously, that game has become more of a big deal, and I see it in the news a lot now. Like they're lobbying for tax breaks to get similar tax breaks like video games companies enjoy in other countries, and it's becoming more and more of a serious deal. So I know this year at EGX they had more footfall than they've ever had before. I think it was something like 70,000 people over the course of 4 days. Yeah, it's and it's quite a small venue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, compared to Gamescom. Gamescom was huge, like as big as the Birmingham NEC, and there was like EGX was too cramped, I thought.
There wasn't enough room in there, huh?
Yeah, I mentioned to you before, didn't I, that we were queuing for like 2.5 hours for Dragon Age, queuing for 2 hours for Call of Duty, queuing for like another 2 hours for Battlefield Hardline, and everyone was just really fed up, and it was so cramped in there. So because the industry is becoming such a big deal in the UK, they're moving it to the Birmingham NEC, which is a much, much larger venue. So, I mean, you said that there was no cameras and lights there this year. There may well be next year if it becomes a bigger deal. Right.
I think that'd be really good for the industry to have more events like that. That gives more exposure to game developers as well as indie companies over there in the the United Kingdom. I think it's very interesting. I wish I would have saw EGX. Honestly, I would love to have seen what they presented and what they showed. Was there anything that you've seen there that impressed you, or maybe you didn't see before, maybe at one of the other events?
Well, I went to Gamescom as well, which is in Germany, and you might. I mean, we talk quite a lot, and you know that I'm a big Dragon Age fan.
Right.
And at Gamescom, I saw a video trailer of a private screening of the But at EGX, me and some of the Xbox Mag guys, we actually got to sit down and play through a multiplayer map. And Dragon Age 2, like, it screwed up the combat a bit, made it a bit more action orientated, took a bit of the tactics out.
Really?
But Dragon Age Inquisition put the tactics back in, so that was the most impressive for me. I don't know if everyone else has shared the same sentiment.
So obviously, they from what I understand, they didn't have many press events where it was like you got a chance to talk to see developers on stage or anything like that. But I do remember you telling me that they did have videos running while people were playing the game in a line, so you were very entertained and very a lot of attention to what was going on in the games. Did you experience that? Like, what other games did you play besides Dragon Age that made you say, you know what, this game might be something I'll pick up?
That's a tough question. Well, it's funny you mention actually about the lack of stages. At Gamescom, they had massive. Each publisher had its own segment, and a lot of the big games like Metal Gear Solid, they either had private screening rooms which were like set up. I mean, the Metal Gear Solid one was hilarious. They'd set it up like it was a desert, and there was all military equipment inside there, and there was you had to sit on camouflaged bean bags and stuff. It was
wow.
and there was a Jeep outside. It was all very flash. EGX was nowhere near that flash, but they did. Xbox had a stage of their own. Even though a lot of the other publishers didn't, they just had sort of gameplay demos or screens set up.
Mm-hmm.
But Xbox, they had their own stage.
Nice.
And they designed it very well because they had the stage in the middle, and they had all around the outside. They had all the different booths. There was a section for the indie stuff, a section for the big exclusives, and certain games had their own sections entirely. Like the queue for Sunset Overdrive was ridiculous. I think it was the biggest there, even bigger than Call of Duty. I think one of the games, like you asked me, like which game I saw that I might not have been interested in otherwise, was actually a game called Scream Ride.
Scream Ride, right? The new game that's supposed to release next year, the roller coaster game, right?
Yeah. They announced it at E3, didn't they? I think was it E3.
Yeah, it was E3.
I haven't really checked it. Yeah,
it was E3.
I haven't really checked it out that much since. But at EGX, the two Scream Ride developers, I need to research this more because I don't do this full time yet.
Right.
I'm trying to keep up with all the games. It's like ridiculous at the minute. We've got like 14 games being reviewed at the minute. It's absolutely insane.
Wow.
But Scream Ride was like they were showing off a game mode where you built a roller coaster and then you launched the roller coaster at a building, and you had to design it so you get the most velocity and blow up the building, and the better demolition you did, the more points you got.
Right.
And the destruction physics were amazing, and it reminded me of that Crackdown Cloud,
the DX12
destruction demo.
Right.
Yeah. The cloud assisted physics.
Yeah, the cloud compute physics. Yeah. Right.
It reminded me of that, and I don't think it was actually using cloud to render that destruction. I'm not sure, but because I mean the graphics were, the graphics aren't
the greatest.
It's not an open world game like Crackdown is probably going to be.
Right.
But it reminded me of Crackdown, and it was like, it just looked really cool, and I like blowing things up, especially buildings.
I think people sacrifice themselves as they get thrown into walls and buildings, and these explosions and all these things happen. Yeah, so I think people will really enjoy doing that, and they're going to have some type of competitive thing against other people's scores and other people's designs and things like that across Xbox Live. So I'm looking forward to that game too. Hopefully the price is $39.99. I think that game will probably be digital. I don't know if it'll be retail.
Yeah,
I think it'll be.
I think it will be digital. Yeah, I'm not sure if is it even Microsoft Studios, or is it just either Xbox? I don't know.
No, it is. It is a Microsoft Studio. It's
okay.
I'd have to check that. Yeah, they're one of the newest studios that they just created and things like that. So obviously, the big news this week that we had was for Phil Spencer and everything, and you guys got the first scoop, which was awesome, and very glad to see you guys get the recognition that you guys deserve. So,
Appreciate it.
it's funny that I look back at it. So many people have been excited about what was said at the show, but the one thing that caught my attention the most was when he talked about the games that that they have in development and things like that. Some of the games they had in development, and if you do a process of elimination, if you eliminate obviously the third-party titles in Shenmue, and you eliminate the third-party title in Knights of the Old Republic, you eliminate the interest of a first-party baseball game. And of course, you eliminate Mech Assault because that's something that he shot down my boy Unified's dream. Unfortunately, sorry for that, Unified. That Mech Assault won't be coming out. There is a list of games that will potentially be at E3 next year, starting with Halo Wars 2. And one of the reason why I think Halo Wars 2 will be a big title. It will be one of those games is because obviously you have the Halo 5 franchise about to release. You have you have the Halo 5 franchise releasing next year. You have Halo Master Chief Collection releasing this year. And in the Phantom Dust trailer, there was a Easter egg of Halo Wars on a banner during the preview.
Yes,
and that says a lot. I mean, why put an Easter egg for Halo Wars in a Phantom Dust trailer that literally has nothing to do with each other? It only makes sense that Halo Wars 2 is coming, and the confirmation of it is him saying that yes, some of those games are being worked on. So I believe people expect to see Halo Wars 2 very soon, or possibly at E3 along with Halo 5. What is your thoughts on some of the things that he said, Jess?
Well, just coming to what you said about Halo Wars, that's very interesting, you see, because Microsoft have just released a game on Windows Phone and Windows 8 devices called Age of Empires Castle Siege, I think.
Right.
It's a fairly low key, free to play mobile title. It's nothing amazing, but it's a fun little game. But what is cool about it is that obviously it uses your gamer tag. You get achievements on your phone, and also they're synchronized between devices. So from on my Surface, it's the same game I'm playing as on my phone. And they've done the same thing with, what's it called? Halo. Oh, what's it called now? You know what I'm talking about? That twin stick shooter.
Right.
Halo.
You're talking about
Assault?
Halo Spartan Assault.
Halo Spartan Assault. That's it. Couldn't remember what it was called, but that's the same scenario, except that is also on Xbox.
Right.
So I've only played Halo Spartan Assault on my phone, but when I installed it on my Xbox, it had all my progress saved.
Really?
It had all my points saved. Yeah, it was all my progress was synchronized to the cloud.
Wow.
So, and then you did mention Windows 10 with Phil Spencer.
Right.
And he was talking about people will be playing games regardless of screen.
Right.
I think games like Halo, Spartan Assault.
Right.
Forgot already.
Right.
I think games like Halo Spartan Assault are the first sort of hints about what that could be, and they're gonna be pushing this unification thing between Windows 10 and Xbox, I think, and it will be games like Halo Wars which could serve that push.
Cross-platform.
Like,
because he mentioned cross-platform, Xbox, PC. I can see Halo Wars 2 being a PC title and Xbox One, exclusive. I don't see Halo Wars 2 on 360.
No.
I only see it on Xbox One. So I can see Halo Wars 2 being Xbox One PC exclusive, cross gameplay, and also cross gameplay across tablet and possibly phone, which would be big for them ecosystem wise.
I think especially in RTS is a good fit for touch based gaming. I mean, like, you got is it Civ 5? Civ 5 has a full touch mode.
Right.
So like you can play Civ 5 on a touchscreen PC, and Windows is the only operating system really that is optimized for touch interfacing. So Halo Wars it's a logical fit for a sort of cross-screen games.
Right.
I mean, as long as it's not hopefully it won't be a free-to-play thing like Castle Siege, because I really don't like that model. But it is an exciting prospect. You come home, you're playing Halo Wars, and then you need to go out, you can play it on the train on your phone or your tablet or whatever. It's a cool prospect.
I think it just taken it to another level with this crossplay thing. Obviously, Sony has come out with the genius idea of being able to play your games via remote on your Vita, and Microsoft has the opportunity to take it to another level by allowing you to play it on your phone, your PC, or your tablet, which most of us already have. So if you have those things, and obviously it would probably have to be a part of the Windows ecosystem. Obviously probably a Surface or Windows Phone or something like that. I'm not sure if they'll release Android or Apple iterations of those games to play cross play wise. If they did, it would be great, though. I'm not even gonna lie, because I have an iPad. I mean, I want to get a Surface, but I have an iPad right now, so it would be awesome. But definitely taking it to the next level.
iPad is a pure tablet experience. I mean, the Surface Pro is more like a laptop.
Right.
I mean, you can play full x86 games on that. Like, I run World of Warcraft and Diablo 3 on my Surface, but yeah, Surface RT that probably won't even exist after Windows 10 hits.
Right.
But Microsoft, they are quite platform agnostic now. I mean, they're releasing. I mean, there was rumblings on the internet, weren't they, when they bought Minecraft? They were saying, "Oh, they're going to cancel the PS4 version," but
right. No, they're
Satya
not.
Nadella is really platform agnostic. So, if they did make a Halo Wars, I mean, I can see that just being exclusive to Windows ecosystem. But we do have Smart Glass on iPad,
Right.
so like. They're not completely against the idea of putting things on iPad. You can even got Office on iPad as well now, I believe.
Yeah. They're doing everything with the cloud. Everything is cloud now. I know some guys don't like to hear that word.
They just want everyone in their cloud.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
That's what they want, man. Like, they just want everybody to be a part of the cloud, like raindrops. It's just. It's the truth, man. You buy Office now. It's a yearly subscription. You can use it anywhere. You don't have to bring files with you or flash drives anymore. You could just load it up and just boom, it's there. As long as you have the Windows program. So, I mean, not the Windows program. Excuse me, the Office program. I think it's genius. It's also, you can tell, it's also Microsoft's way of getting money. With these subscriptions. But definitely, it's genius, man. I think that's the future. That's the way the future's going. People don't want it to head that way with digital games, and they want to continue to own it. But just like old records, wax records, and Betamaxes and VCRs, man, things change with the time, man. It's some things we just have to move on from. We can't have disc-based consoles forever. So, and I agree. People want to trade their stuff in, and they want to have it, they want to own it. But it's going to happen eventually. If it's not Xbox, it's going to be Nintendo. If it's not Nintendo, it's going to be Sony. One of those consoles is going to take it to the next level, and gamers are just going to have to conform or just not play anymore, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's already happened. I mean, Steam has an operating system, don't they? Steam OS,
Right.
And that is literally what the original Xbox One was going to be.
Right.
Except with the additional benefit of being able to trade your games in with participating retailers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't do that with PC games currently. If you buy a PC game, you put your Steam code, put the serial key into Steam. That's it. The disc is useless.
Right.
But what Xbox were going to do was they were going to say, okay, well, I mean, yeah, this would screw over mom and pop shops, sure, but I mean, it's hard to balance all the different factors. I mean, Microsoft don't want to screw anyone over, but the publishers were saying, oh well, we want to limit used game sales because it's hurting our business, and then the retailers saying, oh well, you can't do that because it'll hurt our business, and then consumers are saying, oh well, we don't want that because we want to be able to sell our stuff 1,000 times, and it's hard to please everyone. Microsoft are a company that try to please everyone, I think, sometimes, and just fail. So it's going to be a while, I think, before people sort of get into the mentality of digital, especially in the UK where digital prices are just ridiculous still, on third-party titles, I should say.
Right.
Because the publishers want you to buy buy their physical stock first because it's expensive to print a disc. So that they want you to buy their physical stock first. They rack up the price of the digital version to make you buy the physical version, and then when the physical versions are sold through, that's when they start doing the sales
Right.
on the digital version. At least that's how it works in the UK. It's just I've got tons of physical games, even though I was a massive supporter of digital, simply because it's just ridiculously cost ineffective to buy all digital in the UK. I mean,
Right.
what's it like in America? Is it how much? Is it much more?
Digital, no, it's the same price as retail right now. You know, we're clamoring for them to lower the price of digital games because there's no middleman, there's no distributor, and things like that. So they're saying that it's to keep the market competitive, you know. But I just feel like retail just has too many advantages, and I think because of that, digital needs to be cheaper. It has to be some incentive besides just buying the game digitally at home, compared to just going to the store to pick it up and getting those bonuses and using games to trade in to lower the prices and things like that. There has to be some type of incentives on digital games.
I think there's some see digital games here on third party titles. I mean, not on Microsoft titles. Microsoft do price matching. When they release a first party game on Xbox Live, it's usually the same price. But titles like from Ubisoft and Activision, they're often 20-25% more expensive to buy digitally.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's like $100 ish.
Right. Wow.
Or $90.
That's crazy.
Buy it'd be $90 to buy Call of Duty Advanced Warfare converted to UK. Like it's gonna be like £65 or something.
That's crazy.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
I think it's a political issue as well, because a lot of our retail is conducted in the it's called high street retail. I don't know if it works the same way in America.
No, I don't think so.
But there's basically they call it the high street retail, and it's like there's a street in the middle of the town where all the shops are.
Right.
And a lot of these high street retailers are very powerful, and they're probably Sony actually said one of the reasons they didn't do DRM was because it would have hurt the UK high street retail market so much. Because our GameStop went into administration last year, almost bankrupt.
Wow.
And so I think that's another reason why these publishers probably have deals with the big retailers to keep the digital prices up, to keep people going into the shops. It's really complicated, I think, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't even see and we don't even know about. All people see is the price tag, and they say, "Oh, Microsoft lower the price of digital," and I'm trying to explain to people, "Oh, Microsoft don't set the price." You know, it's there's all these other factors going in.
Yeah, just to touch on that very quickly, as we head out, being that Microsoft released the console at an even lower price now, I heard that the price has dropped from retailers. Has it had an effect on the UK?
I did read that the week they dropped the price of the Xbox One below the PS4, the Xbox One instantly overtook the PS4 in weekly sales.
Oh wow!
In the UK, I don't know if that's still the case.
Right.
But it's just funny about how brand disloyal British people are.
Right.
Not to alienate my British audience, but we are cheap. I think a lot of people they just see the price. Bottom line, it's always about price, and the same thing happened with the 360 generation. The UK was Xbox 360 stronghold, because the PS3 was so expensive, and people just went for the cheaper option. They abandoned the PlayStation as a brand and just went for the cheaper option. And they've done they did the same this gen as well. They abandoned Xbox One because it was £100 more expensive. Yeah.
Right.
But now, literally the week, the price changes. The sales figures change.
The sales figures change.
So it's just kind of funny to me.
Well,
but it goes to show how arrogant Microsoft were when they launched it.
Right.
They were really, really arrogant. They probably thought, "Oh, everyone loves us. We don't need to be concerned about bundling Connect and inflating the price." But and it's come back to haunt them, hasn't it?
Yes,
As
it
we know,
has.
and they've been eating a big humble pie for a year, and now that it's cheaper, people have just switched back.
Right,
This is the only thing British people seem to care about is the price.
right.
But yeah, it's there was a real buzz at EGX in the Microsoft segment, a real buzz. Um, uh, I mean, I didn't really check out the Sony segment that much, admittedly, but it was really exciting to be amongst so many Xbox fans, and some of the other Xbox devs are so enthusiastic about the Xbox One because Microsoft do support them so much, and they do support them so well. It's just I don't know, it's just really exciting to be an Xbox One fan at the minute.
I
I'm
think
just
it
really
is.
excited.
I think it is. I mean, look, Phil gave us some great stuff. People love, some people didn't like. But you know, I think he's a guy that can see what is affecting Xbox fans negatively and is quick to make a decision on that to make fans happy, because the fans are the bottom dollar, and that's what really matters when it comes to the console.
He's incredibly smart. He's incredibly smart. He's not only smart in like a business sense, but also a PR sense,
Yes.
like public relations sense.
Yes.
He was easily the best man for the job, taking over from Don Matrick easily.
Right.
And more importantly, it seems like he has Satya Nadella's ear.
Right,
Where
he
I don't
does.
think the Xbox team really had Steve Ballmer's ear to the same degree.
Right. I think that Xbox has a bright future, and Phil has them
Definitely.
heading in the right direction with his plan for Xbox One. So I want to thank you for coming on the show, Jez. I really appreciate it, obviously. Hopefully we can get you back on and you guys back on for other events, or just to come in and chat with us when we get some free time and things like that. And that's it for our show this week. Stay tuned as we release new episodes every other Friday night or Saturday morning with the latest fan topic, shout-outs, Xbox fan guests, rumors, and opinions. And of course, check me out weekly for Straight Pod Shots, where I do a short podcast on what the buzz is in the game industry, along with TiC reviews hosted by Scotty Jim and Doc. Thank you for listening and for your support. Please comment and subscribe. For the fans, by the fans, we're off this planet. Peace.
For the fans, by the fans.